Hello to all you lovely souls out there. For those who don't know, my name is Excellent, and today we are going to be doing a tier list for the current meta for My Hero Ultra Rumble. I've actually wanted to do a tier list for a while now, and after playing the game for a while, I think I can confidently make a tier list. I'm gonna have my friend Shima here help me as well with this tier list, and you know, I I believe we're pretty confident in this. We're gonna try and make this as unbiased as possible, obviously. But if you feel like we like hard miss on some things, or you just you think one character should be above or below, just let us know. Please keep it civil. But I'm gonna let Shima here explain some of the rules before we get started.
Right, so first off, we're doing like bottom of D tier to top of S tier. So worst character to best character in the game. The next rule is just we're just gonna be talking about like maybe possibly changing up their abilities or um, possible nerfs and buffs. And then like last thing we're also gonna cover is just this is only gonna be season 2, so it's not gonna be overall character. Just for this season to keep everything, balanced and organized.
Yeah. So hopefully, with all that being said, we can get into this tier list. Um, one or two more things I want to say. I do have experience under my belt, like I said earlier, as well as Shima here, and again, I really have to say this, guys. Please, if you don't agree, just keep it civil. um, there's not really too much else to say, so without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the D tier, worst character in the game, in our humble opinions, of course. We are going to start off with none other than Cementos. Um, I just want to clarify before I even start talking about Cementos, guys. I think every single character in this game is viable and is very fun to play. You can have fun on all these characters, but again, guys, this is a competitive tier list, and from the bottom all the way to the top, they're going to have certain values to them, what makes them these characters. But yeah, I just wanted to make that little note real quick. But we can talk about Cementos real quick.
Yeah, I think first off, his skill ceiling just get that right out the way. It's literally just him being hard to play makes him really, 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 really niche of a character.
Yeah, I do agree with that. His it's like he brings a lot of clutter to the map. I don't know how to explain that properly.
No, that's exactly how I'd say
Yeah,
it.
he does hit he does hit pretty hard though. Whenever he does get his skills leveled up, you can hit for a lot of damage with him. But his a lot of his kit just feels a little janky. The only thing that's really redeeming about him is his special ability, his special action. I believe it's you can instant revive, and that's really really good. I believe only like three characters have that. So um I think his character. I just think it needs to be weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I can put
Yeah,
him anything higher than D tier. Um, I think his like I said, I think his special revive is really good though, or instant revive. Sorry, but moving on from the D tier, that was the only character in D tier, guys. We're gonna
RIP.
have to put Dobby in the C tier. Um, I think Dobby's a cool. I think Dobby's a real cool character. I think he's a very starter friendly character. Like you can pick up the game, pick this character, and you can do a lot with this character. You can have a lot of success. At the higher ends though, in the higher ranked lobbies, I think he does struggle quite a bit. His alpha skill is really easy to dodge whenever you're shooting at them. They're really good for third party, but that's pretty much about it. He does okay damage with his alpha, but at that higher skill level, pretty much anyone can just kind of dodge out of it unless you're like third party. Uh, but he has really good defensive skills. I really like his I believe it's his gamma is like a really really good defensive skill, like one of the best in the game actually. It's really good.
Yeah, it blocks all like the projectiles. You can only shoot it from like vertical. You have to be like above it to
Yeah,
shoot through it. It's really good for blocking off enemies from like trying to shoot you while you're finishing off a kill, or it's really good for picking up a teammate because the more you level it up, the longer it lasts.
Yeah.
So like a level 9 is gonna be like a free revive basically.
It's a pretty good, it's a pretty good one. And then his traps again, they're just easy to dodge. I mean, if you're I mean, if you have someone hard rushing you, you can put those traps down, you know, catch them off guard a bit. But for the most part, excuse me, he's getting outranged, he's getting out damaged, and he has no mobility, which really does hurt his character. And he has one of the worst, and I mean one of the worst special abilities in the game. But again, he's not the worst character in this game. Just right above it. Yeah, C tier
Yep.
is for Dabi. Um, Next character in the C tier list is going to be Dinky. Um, I actually really like Dinky. I think his entire kit is pretty cool. I really like his ability to be able to stun. He has the potential to do like really major damage. I think he's a really cool character. He I think what really hurts him is his lack of range, in my opinion. Like it's cool setting up traps. You can set up traps, and you know he can set up rooms and whatnot. It's pretty good for defensive abilities, capabilities, obviously. But like his alpha, you think it go farther, it does not go farther, and he really does get outranged by a lot of the characters.
For sure. He does do really good AoE damage, like in the area he can cover. He's definitely respectable there,
Yeah,
especially in like really closed in areas. The stun is very good for locking people in and getting extra damage. Just
yeah,
basically doing another Shoto combo with the freeze fire. It's literally the
basically.
same thing, but it's just electricity.
I think they did.
The
Oh,
I
I'm
think the
sorry.
fatigue. I think no, honestly, I think the fatigue really does put him down a little bit more. I think
Oh yeah.
any, like I said, any character that has that fatigue effect where you're literally unable to attack, heal, defend, or anything like that puts you at a disadvantage in a fight.
Yeah, yeah, that really does hurt his character a bit. I'm not gonna lie, guys, but I think he's still a pretty decent character for the most part. You can still do some pretty cool things with him. He does
For
have that
sure.
dash as well. It's his kit is overall pretty good. You can definitely make a Dinky work in some situations, but I can't put him higher than C tier. Moving on though, which you could probably debate this guy would be B tier. Let me move him around real quick. That's going to be Mr. Compress. Um, I think what's really making really a Mr. Compress, like in my opinion, not B tier, is that he has his damage is so good, but is also so inconsistent, and I think that actually really hurts him. They buffed his gamma. His gamma used to be so bad, guys. It used to be so bad. He used to be one of the worst characters in the game, but now they buffed his gamma. He does really good damage with his trucks if you level that up, pretty good. His beta is also really good. You pretty much if you can do some, or if you know how to time your beta, you're able to reflect pretty much everything. I think his entire kit is like really good. It's just his damage with his alpha. It's pretty much his only damaging a move. It's so inconsistent in my opinion. Sometimes you're like able to hit everything and spam it, and you're just able to do so much damage. Sometimes you're just missing every single truck, and it's like it just feels like you can't do anything. I
Right.
do.
Yeah, I do see that inconsistency a lot since I've been
Yeah,
playing him. I think what really makes him shine is just that it's honestly just the area where you're fighting. Like that's really what sets him apart from the other characters.
yeah.
Um,
That mobility really
and
helps him.
right, his character is just counter. His character can counter like almost any projectile-based character. Um, but he's basically just I counter everybody, but I also get countered by everybody type deal.
Yeah.
That's what makes him really hard to play. You have to know your matchups.
Of course, of course. Like I said, speaking of which, his special ability, I think it's pretty good. I think in Loki needs a small buff, not
No,
anything too
Haikyuu
crazy.
needs a buff for sure.
Loki
Because even the
Haikyuu,
healing that's in there is not very good.
yeah.
It's like
But
really slow.
other than that, Mr. Compress, he's a really cool character. I like where he stands, and they could probably buff him a little bit more in the future. But You could probably argue he's B tier, but he's gonna be C tier for us. Moving on though. Moving on. We're going for Mr. Aizawa. He's going to be our first B tier character. Um, I think Mr. Aizawa, he was so terrible when I think everyone instantly knew he was like extremely bad to play when he first came out. Everyone knew, obviously. But they buffed him. His alpha feels so much less janky. It's so much less janky. It actually feels pretty good now. I'm not gonna lie. Um, his beta, it's a kick just like Deku and Mountain Lady. It's pretty simple, nothing too crazy. It has two charges, so that's pretty cool. His gamma also is pretty good. Yeah, his special ability, it's really good when it needs to be. I'm not gonna lie. If you can have that team communication, he can do some crazy things. But the only thing I really don't like about his character is like sometimes the damage can be a bit inconsistent. Sometimes if you don't have that gamma up and you're not like doing that gamma damage, because his gamma does a lot of damage. If you're not doing that, then it's like his damage can feel a little inconsistent. But yeah,
For sure. I think he's decent overall though. He
yeah,
does have some pretty crazy movement
he does.
compared to like most of the other characters in the list. And his damage I feel like is really really lackluster. I feel like it should definitely get buffed for sure. Because of all like his kit is just like you can utilize it completely together. You can do
Yeah,
like everything. It doesn't feel like you're using one move more than every other move.
yeah.
But on top of that, like his special skill is like possibly the best in the game if used correctly with the team, because the coordination on top of the ability itself is unmatched. It's quite literally an insta kill.
You can do some crazy things with his special ability.
Correct.
Some crazy things. But B tier feels appropriate for him. I like B tier. Um, I think if they did buff him, he'd probably be a little bit higher. But yeah, B tier is fine for him. Moving on though, we have Ibarra. I think Ibarra is actually a really good character. I think the only thing that's really kind of hurting her is the fact that she has like no mobility. Like her alpha is like really good. Her alpha is like really good. Her beta is also good in close quarters, and her gamma is also pretty decent. I like how it attacks the health instead of the shield, and yeah, I said that gamma does some really major damage. Only thing she does have a couple of things I really don't like a lot of her moves, like pretty much all of her moves, it makes it to where she has to like stand still. So like her alpha, she shoots out that alpha, it has like pretty much the longest range in the entire game.
Right.
It makes you pretty stationary. So it's like it's a little trade off.
Yeah,
Combo
I think
that when
that's
she
the
has no
problem with her
movement.
entire kit though. Like if we're being honest, every single ability she has that animation.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
weird.
why it's so long. Like I understand she's like having to extend her like her hair out and she has to keep it out while it's out, but like seems a little ridiculous how long the cooldown is on it because you don't even have it's not like you have a lot of ammo.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the trade-off there, but the fatigue I would call it some slight fatigue on that. On top
It's
of the
like
no movement really makes her an extremely vulnerable character. But that
yeah.
doesn't mean you can just rush her or run away, because she could snipe you.
She does some pretty good damage, guys. She does some pretty good damage. And combo
For sure.
that she has, the instant revive as well. Her instant revive is so good. She if you can slot her on a team, dude, you can do some crazy things. I think so for sure. B tier seems appropriate for her. No movement though is like really hurting her character because there's so many rush down characters that can kind of just like you know kill her in an instant. But moving on, our next B tier character is going to be Kendo. Let me move that around real quick. There we go. I think Kendo is I think Kendo is a really good character. I really love the buff that they gave her. I don't know when they gave her. Maybe like before season 2, or it was before season 2. But afterwards, she became such a solid character. Um, she kind of has no movement, but that doesn't really matter because she has a Reinhardt shield. She just has a big ass shield. She has a big ass shield, and she can pretty much block anything. There's only like a couple things that she really can't block, like Edith's kick. Edith's kick really does fuck her over, but messes her up for real. Um, she has I think her alpha. I don't like her alpha. I don't like her alpha. Like, I mean, it's good. It recharges fast, but I don't like it that much.
Yeah,
Her
it's
her
pretty good
gamma.
AoE, but I also
Yeah,
have to say I don't think it's very good either. It's just because it could be more inconsistent
yeah.
because you're
It's
depending on multiple things to hit somebody at the same time for that extra damage. But
it's
it
it's a bit inconsistent.
does definitely cover a big area of effect.
Yeah. Her gammas also does really big damage. It's pretty good, but her shield is really what's like making her like higher because they buffed her shield again, like I said, and her shield it can it's so good for helping teammates, blocking teammates, getting chests, all that good stuff. Not to mention, it kind of has like a counter thing built into it. So if you hit that shield, she can hit you with her gamma for, pretty much for free, and her gamma does major damage. So I think she's overall a really good character. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that's really lacking is one her movement, and I didn't get to mention this, but her really questionable special ability. I think is like you're not really thinking about that like mid game. So it's like I don't know. You can definitely use it though for other characters, but it's a little weird. Moving on though, I'm going to have to put Momo at the top of our B tier list. Um, I actually probably would have put Momo A tier, but there's a couple things holding me back on A tier. If I'm being honest, I think her alpha is really good. It has priority on a lot of hits. You can low key kind of counter Ida with her alpha alone. It's kind of like if an Eva comes in for a kick, you can kind of just spam your alpha and it's like a get off me thing. It's not like an immediate thing, but you can definitely make it work. Obviously, her shield, pretty much you're invincible for however many seconds or however long it lasts. It's an insane shield, and her gamma as well is it's pretty strong for some AOE.
Honestly, her special skill really good. Gives your team health and shields, possibly some upgrade cards. I think the only thing that makes it really bad is the cooldown. Like it doesn't even affect the quality of the ability. It's just like the cooldown makes it to where you can only use the ability like once or twice in a match, even if it's stretched out as far as it can go. It's kind of inconvenient because they only give you like a couple heal and shields. It's not like a full backpack or a full rail. I think it needs to be buffed for sure.
Overall, though, I think her character is really good. Um, I feel like she doesn't quite hit the A spot just because I think they did nerf her shield a bit, so it's like you can hit her out of her shield on startup. It's not impossible to kill her. But yeah, I think top of B tier definitely does her justice. And yeah, move on. Starting with our A tier list, we got a lot of characters left, so it's gonna be some cool characters here. I am going to put Mountain Lady to stop at the top of our A tier list. My bad, at the start of our A tier list. um, I think overall, Mountain Lady, she has some pretty basic abilities, but they're they're basic, but they do the job. Kind of like Deku, like he's a pretty basic character as well, but he does the job. Mount Lady, she has a pretty similar fire or a pretty similar attack to All Might. I think it's a little bit weaker though. Like, but you can hit him, you can hit it faster. She has a ground pound, and her her kick, which is I think has the longest range out of all the kicks. So that she has that going for her. So she has some pretty decent mobility. I think what's really putting her in the A tier spot though is her special ability, where she can just go giant form. Being able to do that at small circles is like pretty much a game changer. Like, she's pretty much top three whenever it comes to final circle, and she can go big. So I think that alone, plus her abilities that are honestly really good, that lands her in the A spot for me.
For sure.
Moving on though, we have Kirishima. No, it's not Kirishima. I'm gonna move him right here. Oh. All right, Kirishima. One of my personal favorites, but Kirishima, he hits like a truck, always has. Um, I think his special ability is extremely strong. Um, I think what's really holding Kirishima back is the fact that he can very easily get outranged, and it's hard for him to get out of fights whenever he gets in. So if you're gonna commit, you're gonna have to fully commit. But overall, if you can close that distance, if you can get in that fight, you're gonna do insane damage. He has one of the highest damaging abilities in the entire game. So definitely, if you're wanting that hard hitting melee character, 100% go for Kirishima. Very good character.
I think his armor is what really makes him way better than like most of the other pressure characters because he can go through almost every ability before they have a chance to like finish up the startup for like the bigger damage or ramp up enough damage to like knock him down. It just makes him extremely oppressive, and he can just chase you with the chops, so it's not like you're gonna run away.
He does have pretty decent mobility, especially with that punch. He has pretty, like I say, if you can level that punch up, it has actually really good vertical mobility. So definitely a good character, deserving of the A tier spot. But he can get outranged, which you know puts him a little bit lower. But moving on, we have Endeavor. Right there. Endeavor is one of the newest characters in the game. Um, I think all of his abilities are so solid. I mean, even his gamma skill, which is like objectively his worst ability, it's still really good if you know how to use it, if you know when to use it. His alpha, it does really good damage. You can kind of spam it a little bit. Not want to say spam it, but you can definitely use it quite a few times, and it has a pretty fast recharge. His beta is definitely his best skill. You can pretty much throw that thing across the map. Once you level it up, guys, it does it's insane damage. The insane damage has a really wide radius. You can throw that on you if you're getting rushed down. It's good for everything. Like it's just not a bad ability at all. And like I said, his gamma, it's objectively his worst, but it's still good. He has pretty decent mobility as well, so I think that lands him in the A tier spot for sure. Moving on to our next A tier character is going to be Shigaraki. Now, Shigaraki is probably one of the best characters late game, in my opinion. Um, I think he has insane damage potential in those close, especially in those close quarter circles where it's not a lot of room to really do anything. His AOE it does so much damage. His alpha does so much damage. He has um he has a very solid I believe it's his gamma to where he can hit for your health. I think the main thing that's hurting him is the lack of vertical. I think if he had some type of vertical, I think his he would probably be an S tier character, but he doesn't have any type of vertical movement, so I can't place him anything higher. But late game he's insane. Early game he can still do quite a bit of damage. He's just an overall really strong character in my opinion.
For sure. I think his mix ups and his like ability synergy is like almost next level. Because you can combo every single ability into every other ability. Because what you're trying to do is just misdirect. You're trying to make sure the enemy is guessing what you're trying to throw out. You're not trying to just walk up to somebody and start shooting them because you're gonna get outranged every time. But if you play it smart, mix it up. Don't do the same thing. Shoot from range, mid range, and close range, behind like buildings, through buildings, in bushes. Basically, sneak attacking people and just trying to like chip them away, and then you can go in. But definitely lacks from the movement and the vertical. You can't shoot people in the air, makes him kind of weak in that regard. But endgame, he's very respectable.
Gotta respect him. very deserving of the A tier spot. On our next A tier character is going to be Froppy. I debated on putting her a lot lower, but I still think Froppy is a very good character. Um, she still has respectable damage on her beta. She still has some of the best movement in the entire game, the best survivability in the entire game. She has a lot going for her. She has one of the best instant revives in the game. Um, Ibarra, compared to Ibarra and Cementos, she has one of the best revives. Um, I think the main thing that's really hurting her is her lack of damage. That she does have a lack of damage, but her survivability is so insane. Especially, I mean, early game, in game, her survivability is pretty good. They did nerf her a bit. She used to be like, I think she used to be like a top 3 character in my opinion, if not number one. But like I said, they
Right.
hit her with the nerf stick quite a bit, so that brought her down to A
She could
tier.
still be. She could definitely still be up there just from her kit alone because you're not really looking at her damage per se when you play the character. She's more like utility. If you're
Exactly.
just basing it off of utility alone, she's definitely S tier for sure.
Yeah.
Because the survivability, the ability to escape just from her primary, and then obviously invisibility allows you to heal as well while you're invisible. Very smart for like sitting in bushes, being able to get that heal off. They're not gonna be able to see you, even if they run through the bush. Um, I think her special skills also fire AF. Being able to grab somebody out of a situation while they're down, instantly revive them, and just run away. Super powerful.
Definitely. Like I said, you could probably argue that she would deserve to be S tier, but I think those nerfs hit her just a little too much to knock her down a bit
For sure.
for my taste.
Because there are other characters that have movement like hers and the damage on top of that, and we'll get to those.
Just a bit. But yeah, A tier I think is pretty deserving for her. Let's move on though. The top of A tier. This is our last A tier character. Is going to be none other, right here, none other than our boy Ida. Alita. uh, I could go on and on and on about this character. I'm going to try and keep it at minimum though. Some of the best movement in the entire game. Um, he has really strong alpha, a really strong beta. His gamma is also extremely strong for being able to get in, get that revive, and get out. I think a lot of people I think a lot of people sleep on Ida, but also at the same time, there's a lot of Ida haters out there. I know there is. I think um I think he gets outranged by some of the top tier characters a little too well sometimes. So I don't think he deserves to be S tier, but high A tier 100%. Um, he like I said, he can pick people up and revive them like that. So again, that's really strong. You can combine that with your gamma. You can pretty much pick them up at instant speeds and then run away and put them down. So his him being able to help his team is invaluable. So top of A tier for sure. He's kind of similar to Froppy in a sense. It's just that he doesn't have that quote unquote instant revive, but he's still really strong. He does insane damage, and yeah, he can do a lot. He can do a lot. All right, guys, we are officially in the S tier ranking. All of these characters you should 100% pick up, play, try and get good with. These are going to be the best of the best. Definitely going to want to play these characters if you aren't already. But starting off our S tier spot, and you guys are probably gonna kill me for this one, but we are starting with Ochako. Let me move her here. Um, I think I should first off, I think I should definitely make it clear. I think Ochako is a very good character. I think her her beta, it's probably one of the most oppressive moves in the entire game, but her kit is like, other than her beta, her kit is pretty like, it's pretty good. It's like nothing extremely crazy. Um, she does have insane mobility. Her her mobility combined with her special with her special ability makes it to where she can pretty much just fly across the map in like two of her alphas. It's kind of insane. But that and combined obviously with her beta, dude, that Honda Civic, bro, hitting you for 20 million damage. I know we all hate it. We all hate it. But I think a lot of the other characters on this tier list, a lot of the S tier characters are a bit more consistent, because if you don't have that car, you're not really doing a lot of damage. But you can get that car pretty fast, and she has insane mobility, and her gamma as well is really strong, similar to Dinky and Shoto, as far as like being able to combo, because you get put into the air and you can kind of like hit them. So her gamma is also really good. But I think she deserves bottom of A tier. Starting off her my bad, not A tier. Starting off her S tier list. I think she deserves to be there. But
For sure. Her card does have that crazy AoE damage when you're actually like
yeah.
hitting somebody with it, and you can also hit multiple people with it at the same time. So that's gonna be extra damage for you. On top of like being able to like shoot her primary to get yourself closer to an enemy and then pop in the car spin, makes her like almost one of the most oppressive characters in the game, just from that alone. But like other than that, she really don't got nothing else going for her apart from that one little combo.
Yeah. I think S tier might be most appropriate for it, guys. Don't kill us. Don't kill us. Moving on into our next S tier spot, we're going with our main antagonist, our boy Deku. Um,
You said antagonist?
Protagonist. Jesus, our protagonist Deku. I think Deku is such a solid character. He's the starting character, dude. You can pick this man up and do wonders with him. um, his um, his alpha is really strong, just like Bakugo, just like Shadow. His alpha is extremely strong. His I believe it's his kick, the beta. That does, I think at level 1 it does like 120 damage. So if you can level up his kick to like not even level 9, like level 5, like it does so much damage. Like having a level 9 kick on Deku is actually kind of insane. I mean, it's actually like a sleeper ability when it comes to damage. Like, you don't think it does that much damage, but it does. It's crazy. And obviously
For
his
sure.
yeah, his black whip is also really strong for mobility and whatnot. But other than that, he has a pretty basic special ability, being able to pick people up, revive them. It's pretty cool. But I think he definitely deserves S tier.
For sure.
Um, moving on from no, not from. Moving on to our next S tier, we have the symbol of peace, All Might. Oops, let me do this real quick. There we go. The symbol of peace, All Might. I think All Might is such an amazing character. I think he does a crazy, and I mean crazy, amount of damage. That tornado can pretty much block anything and everything. I think it has like two things that it really can't do. It's like I think Ibarra's hair is one of them. I know something else can probably block that tornado, but as far as I know, I think Ibarra's hair and something else can like go through it. Pretty much anything and everything else. It's not touching that tornado. He has mobility, being able to get in, get out, chase, run away, whatever you want to do. He has the mobility for it. His alpha is also extremely strong. I think it's like at max level, it's like 100 per hit. So you're literally hitting for like 200 with his little punch thing. So it's definitely a really strong kit. I think he definitely 100% deserves the S tier spot.
For sure. I think it's just the movement. It's just too good. High damage. The fact that he's good from start to finish with no levels. And the pressure from the character. You need pressure and movement to win games nowadays.
Yeah, 100% deserves the S tier spot, and that's actually gonna be the top of our S tier spot. We're going to be moving on to S plus. This is going to be, in our opinions, the top 3 best characters in this game. You see the three, so make your guesses on who's going to be number one.
Alright, and starting off in the S plus tier, right at the bottom, we got Mr. Half Hot, Half Cold, Shoto Todoroki. This man does high damage, he's got high defense. He doesn't have any movement abilities, unfortunately, and his special skill is pretty lackluster. But getting into his abilities, his A skill, high burst at level 1, covers pretty good range at level 9, very good for spamming damage. And then his ice ability, his B skill, very good for freezing opponents and comboing with your fire, very impressive. And then his ice wall, also very, very good. Good defense, good for getting a revive or a finishing blow. And he's also really, really, really good for ranked. Definitely start picking him up for sure if you haven't already.
Definitely agree. His like I said, his sliding ability is one of the most impressive moves in the game. Being able to combo, you get frozen for so long. Like I said, the only thing that is truly lacking for this character is just his vertical movement, which is non-existent. So I think he deserves to be on pretty much a top three on any list. He's pretty interchangeable, but his lack of vertical really does hurt him. But he can pretty much do everything else. Um, Moving on to our second pick, Toga is going to be our number two, and for good reason. For those of you who are like, "Huh?" Let me explain. All right, don't get on our heads too hard. Let me explain. Toga is a very, and I mean very strong character. You may not even think about it at first, but her kit is so insane. It's like you wouldn't even realize how insane her kit is. But her alpha skill is honestly pretty pretty basic. It's not like anything too special. You can have knives 16 up to 30, I believe. 30 at level 9. It's pretty good. Does pretty good damage. You can shoot them really fast, and they have a really fast recharge rate. She's a reload character, so her recharge rate is going to be really good. Her beta skill, I think they buffed. I don't know exactly when they buffed it. Might have been like during season 1, like the end of season 1. But they buffed her. They buffed her beta to where it has 2 charges now. You can pretty much spam her beta as much as you want. It's you can spam it so much. If you hit somebody, it's extended to where you're running around in that beta for forever. Think what really pushes her character over the edge though is that gamma skill, man. Being able to turn into anybody is so strong. Being able to have that comeback ability to where if you get revived, you can use that gamma to turn into anybody in game. Have their skills, and their levels. Use all of their abilities, then turn back into herself. It's really strong. Again, you can even if you don't get revived, you can still just use it. Be able to use all of her abilities, turn into somebody if you want, or whoever you use your skill on, turn into that person. Use all their skills and then turn back and then have her abilities reset. Like it's such a strong combo, and again, she's a reload character, so it kind of pushes her over the edge. Of like her abilities charge so insanely fast. Her the cooldowns is pretty much non-existent. I don't want to go. I'm kind of going on and on about this character because I really want you guys to realize just how strong she is. She was already an S tier character before the beta buff, but after that, it kind of pushed her over the edge. Low key needs to be some suspect testing for this character. I'm not gonna lie.
For
I did
sure.
forget to I did forget to mention that her beta, it does have a decent amount of vertical movement. Like you wouldn't think it would, but it definitely does. But enough ranting about this character, or enough, not even ranting, my bad. Enough explaining about this character. I 100% believe she deserves to be in the S plus. Um, if I'm being honest, the only reason why she's number two is basically because she has a learning curve. Like it's not even a small learning curve. You really have to learn her abilities and understand when to use them, when not to use them.
It's not
and
even her abilities actually. If you really think about it, it's learning every character
yeah, learning every
because you have
character's
to know
abilities.
their abilities. Because if you just copy like let's say you copy like a Shoto, right? And then you go into a battle with the Bakugo and you switch to Shoto, you're probably gonna lose that fight.
Yeah,
Like it's not a
so
smart switch to it, but like then again, you could also save it for like fighting like maybe like an Ibarra or something. You could freeze them over and over. Like it's so situational. You have to be really tactical with the character.
yeah, 100%. I think that's really what's stopping her from being number one. That she definitely has a learning curve. You definitely have to understand pretty much every single other character to be able to like effectively, and I mean effectively, use her. Like I
For
said,
sure.
you can definitely turn into people that can revive. Like you can do a lot with her. You can literally do anything with her. So if it wasn't for that kind of like difficult learning curve, being able to being having knowledge on every single character, I think she would 100% be number one. But I think that factor alone is kind of keeping her in the number two spot. But other than that, she's an absolutely amazing character. If you want to take the time to really learn her kit, understand the other characters, and knowing when and when not to do things with her, I think you would have amazing success. I think a lot of people don't really, again, a lot of people don't even realize just how strong she is, but she is an extremely strong character. But yeah, number two for sure. Definitely 100% could be number one, but we all know who it was. It's gonna be Bakugo, number one, without a doubt.
No way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Number one character in the entire game. I'm pretty confident in that. I think Bakugo is such a strong character for pretty much any situation. I think he can do it all. He has the movement to get in and get out, run away, chase, whatever the case may be. He has the damage, he has the range. I think the only skill that might be a little, and I mean even a little janky, is his gamma, but even still, that does insane damage. It's just you don't find yourself using that ability like often. Whenever you do use it, it definitely does that damage. I think he's such a great character.
Um, Honestly, personally, as a Bakugo main, I would also have to put him in S plus at the very top. Unbiased, I think he's just one of the best characters in the game, just based on like his kit alone. Like you can play this character just starting the game. You can play this character 3 months into the game. You can play this nigga like probably 2 years from the game. He's gonna probably be good when this game dies out. Um, I don't see how his kit could get any worse. They'd have to nerf the damage, but yeah, like you said, that gamma skill is probably the last thing you're gonna be using in a fight unless you get really close and you can hit that startup. Um, his grenades, you actually can throw them extremely far. If you're like really high up somewhere, like you can basically throw it into another zone across the map, like level 9. And then his primary fire, it's like extremely fast. It's extremely hard to dodge. Somebody's got really good aim because it's just it hits so fast. And his special skill is really what makes his whole kit come together, in my opinion. Just being able to fly towards your opponent combo or fly away from your opponent. Just repositioning. The fact that it has 2 charges is just insane. I really hope they don't give him another charge, but I would like to see a slight cooldown buff. Like a very, very slight cooldown buff on his special ability.
Trying to make this
Because
character
I
even
feel like it.
more broken.
No, I feel like when you use both the charges, it does take a while for them to come back, like a pretty long time. And I feel the same way about Deku's Black Whip. Like before you upgrade it enough, it feels like it takes a really long time to get back.
Yeah,
It could put the character in a pretty bad situation. And then this character like all around um for like his utility in a team is also good. You can basically put him on almost every single team composition, and he's just gonna be good.
yeah.
Because you don't need a team composition per se. You just need to play good with the character, to make sure his abilities are utilized correctly to win.
Definitely agree. Definitely think he's number one. On top of all that, again, he's You can pretty much pick this character up from the start of the game. As soon as you start playing the game, you can pick this. You can pick this character up, learn him. You're gonna do good with him. It's Bakugo. But that on top of everything else, he deserves to be number one in my opinion. I think he is an insanely strong character. Um, Everyone on this list, very strong, very good, very fun. Just play who you want at the end of the day. This is just our opinion at the end of the day, and I think uh, I think a lot of these characters can be very helpful in any situation, given you have the skill for it and the knowledge to know how to do certain things. But that's pretty much going to be it for our list, guys. Sorry we kind of went on the last couple of characters there. We kind of had to. I feel like we have to give a better explanation on these S tier characters. Simply because
I feel like it's the S tier characters and the D tier characters that need the most explanation.
yeah.
Because why are they the best and why are they the worst is definitely something you need to go over.
Yeah. But that's pretty much gonna be it for our video, guys. If you disagree with this, let us know. Again, like I said before, keep it civil, please. We do like to hear everyone's opinions, though. Take a screenshot of this list if you want to. Share it with your friends. Do whatever you want with it. It's just, it's a tier list. But with all that being said, we do appreciate you guys watching until the very end. If you do comment, if you have a hot take or an opinion, be sure to say hashtag hot take so we know that you guys have made it to the very end of this video. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys for sticking to the end. Like and subscribe. I'm going to link Shima's channel in the description. Definitely check out his video. He has some hilarious, awesome videos. I have videos coming up as well. Subscribe if you do. If you did enjoy this video, yada yada yada. You guys know the outro. Shameless plug aside, we love you guys again, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.